talk to me about what you're like trying to do.
So I want to build a massive coaching business, right? I sent Andy my 5-year plan. I said I want to build a $120 million coaching. And like I said, I've been struggling. My struggle has been when I'm listening to all these things, like what we're doing today. Like it's like I'm self-developing so much. Like,
yep.
It's like overload and trying to find. Everybody says I need that niche, that one thing.
Yeah.
And that's been hard for me because, I like. To me, life is about having all these things, like Andy says, right? Your fitness, your business, your relationships, your spiritually, all those things. And it's like I want to help people with all that because I didn't have any of that as a kid. And I got it all myself. And fitness being a staple of all that, which I think is the entry.
Yep.
It's like the smallest piece of really everything. Does that make sense?
100%.
So I don't know how to dial that into I help people do X. I don't know. Everybody's giving me their ideas on what I should do. Like I should teach women, or I should teach high-level CEOs. And I feel like I honestly relate to younger people because in the world we're in today, like people here, they're wanting to learn. They want to look up to someone.
Yep.
And I have 20, 30 years of experience of things that I've done through fitness, through business, through relationships that I feel like they listen and they're inspired by it.
Yep.
Where someone
That's what moves
40
you.
or
That's
50,
what gets you excited.
Oh, I can talk about it forever. Where someone 40 or 50, they're kind of like, they have egos. It's just it's different conversations. And I can help them too, but I feel like the younger crowd looks at me in a different light.
Dude, Andy's the same way.
And a 50-year-old, it's like, I don't know.
Bro, Andy's the same way. People that are 40, 50, 60, or like, have had other companies before, they look at Andy like he's like, for like younger guys. You can help them more than anything, bro.
Right.
And like, but he yells to my demographic even more because I feel like our generation has been like begging for leadership.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, the generation doesn't want to grow, they don't want to win. It's like, I understand that there's that piece, but that's every single generation.
Right.
People with the right guidance are always win, but this is where I start anybody off with when they're like, dude, I want to start coaching business.
Right.
With the word community.
Yep.
Because whatever you're gonna like sell, it has to just tie back to the purpose behind stuff. Like I was telling you about my boy Kyle, where it's fitness, but not really. He's more selling the community of the police officers, the firefighters, I forget, the first responder community is what you'd call it.
Yep.
The first responder.
Yep.
And so we targeted that audience for mindset, brotherhood, fatherhood. And so he found a couple things that all just were into alignment. And so for you,
the word that comes to me too is a lot of times when I find myself talking to others, I'm teaching myself at the same time.
oh dude, 100%.
And so even when I talk about food or whatever, like sometimes I'm reiterating what I already know to do. But like I'm into this thing, like I'm trying to master myself. Like in every area I want perfection. I want to be the best. I want to be the best dad. I want to be the best husband. I want to be best. I want to be the most fit guy. I want to be the best business guy. I want people to look up to me, like all that. You know what I mean?
Bro, watch this. And we're wired the same exact way. You can chase perfection, but when you truly try to make everything perfect, it slows down your execution and your operating speed.
Right. 100%.
When you try to take the smart strategy, it's almost the worst thing in the very beginning because you'll find out that once you get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 layers deeper, you realize that you're on a whole different path. You thought you were going to be over here doing something different.
Yeah.
But once you find layer 1, layer 2, and you learn more about it, not in theory of saying like, oh, how do I get here? This is how it works. Then you're going to run a funnel and then it's going to be like this. You figure out more about yourself through the actual execution.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I will always teach, bro, and I think that you understand this, but whenever we go into training with people, I'm like, the biggest thing, what about something that you learn, is not you taking notes and learning it and then you like sit on it, but figuring out what the plan is that you're going to use it towards.
Yeah,
implementation. That's one of the biggest things I've ever learned from Andy. And so you got to think, what is the community? And so the first thing you have to draw out is what is your ideal client. You reverse engineer what you love to do, and then you figure out how to monetize it. And maybe if your ideal client, if you're like, I want to work with high schoolers, I'm like, all right, well, are we also gonna, make money, or are we gonna be servants, right?
Right.
And so then you can make a call on how do we broaden this, how do we make this make sense. But if your ideal client is, 18 to 35, and they're, aspiring entrepreneurs, what's the third layer, right? Is it mostly men? Men 18 to 35. I mean, it could be women too. But it's probably mostly going to be men.
Right.
Entrepreneur men, 18 to 35, that are doing like what? What industry? Here's where I think that your role, in my opinion. I think you're just a fit guy. I don't think you're not a guy that wants to be a fitness coach. Because if you don't like talking about it, when you realize how fucking hard this is, when you go to actually build it and make money, you'll be like, fuck this, I'm in the wrong route. And then you're back in the same position of doing something you're not really fulfilled doing. The fulfillment is what will help you make the money. It's the same thing when we all started, we weren't making any money, but we were so fulfilled that the money caught up, because you're never gonna stop. Right. And it's not like you're gonna stop, so you gotta start with the end in mind. So your 4 companies, right? Flooring, what are the other 3?
So it's 2 flooring companies that I have, real estate and laundromat.
Real estate. It can be quite literally anything, bro.
And now we're in the process, this year, we want to buy another flooring company and add on to the revenue of ours. So I'm going down that journey of buying, because I know that's going to, mergers and acquisitions, going to get me where I need to build that
100%.
business. And so that's one of my big rocks for the flooring side, is to buy a business, so I can also then I can teach on. Well, hey, I started with nothing. And now
I would tell you, I would think laundromat is additional income. Real estate is additional income from flooring.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think you start off by just teaching what else falls into flooring? If there was an umbrella of floor, right? Because you have, I don't know, it's not painting, is it flooring? What kind of falls into that category?
With flooring?
Yeah, what are 2 to 3 companies, not companies, but industries, that if it wasn't flooring, let's say flooring didn't exist, what could you scale in 3 years back to where you have 3 to 5 years with where you're at with flooring, with what you know today?
Probably which I know nothing about these 2, but roofing or HVAC, home services basically. But I don't like talking about flooring, from a technical standpoint.
You're not though.
It's more business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, the flooring is just the product that you happen to.
That's just what I do, right?
Yeah.
But I'm teaching. What I'm spending most of my time with my team is leadership, which is what I love. That's what I'm studying, is teaching leadership, how to build a team, how to build a culture, how to win within the team, that kind of thing.
Do you think that there's other people like you in the flooring industry that kind of feel the same way?
Yeah.
That are not they don't really care about flooring really. They just
100%.
That's your person, bro. You're looking at the floors and not looking at the people.
Yeah.
So it's people are I don't want to talk about flooring, right? Well, dude, I do, trust me, I get it. I don't want to talk about fucking cars, right? I'm I don't fucking care about cars, bro.
Right.
You really think I fucking care about cars? I care about the people that are selling the cars.
Right.
Your passion will evolve once you get skilled enough and your brand gets big enough to where you can just say, hey, I'm Alex Hormozy, or I'm Andy Elliott, I'm gonna help you scale your company. Here's what I've done with these different companies. But until you get there, you have to start with one vehicle. But if you start with the people in mind, instead of thinking, I don't want to build my name as in the flooring, because Andy don't want to be known. He was I don't want to be known as the car guy, the automotive guy. He's no longer the automotive guy.
Right.
Grant Cardone was an automotive guy. Patrick Bet-David was known as the insurance guy.
Yeah.
Everyone starts off with something, but then they transition to something else. I would tell you, the home services space is my personal favorite space to work with, and I think that they're lacking the most skills, lacking the most mindset, lacking the most leadership. I think almost even more than auto.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's a lot of small businesses.
Yes.
It's a lot of
small minds.
small minds,
Yeah.
but they're open to what I've seen, at least from going to conferences and stuff. They're open to coaching. They're open to doing better. Maybe not from what you've seen in like your environment, but you're never gonna sell. Like when I left Virginia, I wasn't selling Virginia dealers because they knew me as the guy that was, doing 20 or 30 car. I wasn't breaking records, right? But if I could go out and say, hey, I want to teach all your other guys how to be 20, 30 car hands, that's all they really need to win. And so with you, if you start off with something that's in that flooring niche, I would start a Facebook group, a school community. You have to do something where it starts off with free value, where it does niche down, so that way you can find people that are the actual ideal client, because organic content is not going to convert you and house everybody in one situation to where you can tell people what you're doing. Because these people will back you more than anything. The fitness industry, bro, it's fucking massive. Can you name one guy that coaches in flooring? Or just coaches, even home services? How many people?
Only one I think of.
Tommy Mello?
Yeah, Tommy Mello.
Oh shit. Which market do you want to attack?
Right.
You ever read Red Ocean? Blue Ocean? Or is it Blue Ocean Strategy? Bro, it's the same shit. You stand out. You would stand out hard. Like crazy. There's really only a couple people that I've seen, and no one like blows up well. And with what you're doing, you don't even understand the amount of people, the amount of eyes that you have that are in home services that will look past the flooring or look past all this stuff just to grow because they like you as a person. It's the same thing they did with Andy. And so I would start off with something like...
And then they'll like to hear your story about how you started your flooring business and how you went from here to here.
Because guess what? It's all the same shit, bro.
Yeah,
it's all the same stuff. But you want to start with these people because, watch this. Let's go backwards. Let's look at doctors. And this all, I'm telling you all this for a reason. Let's look at doctors, right? There's levels of doctors in schooling. You have I would call it like an urgent care. You have an urgent care doctor. It's the cheapest. You can walk in any time, get an appointment. You got those doctors. Then you got people who have, just a small practice, just them. Then you got people that are in the hospital. Then you got specialists in the hospital. And then you got specialists that own their own practice. And I could go on, but they own their own practice. And they are specialized with football players for elbow surgeries. It's like, but those people will actually exist. Like my uncle's an orthopedic surgeon who specializes in athletes for knee and shoulder injuries, specifically. And he has more fucking money than he knows what to do with. But people think, oh shit, I want to commoditize more. The reason that you can charge more is because you're more specific. And so you're thinking where your mind is you're like, I want to be into self-development and teach people. This is where people fuck up. They get into this thing and they're like, because their mind, right, they understand everything, so they want to teach everything. Right. But they don't think like, how am I gonna reach people unless you have, all the shit going on. And, it just goes up and up. But if you reverse engineer it, start off as this person, because this is who you are. And so it would be so stupid if you were this guy, the specialist, to go all the way back to be the urgent care doctor. That's where your mindset is. Because how much can you charge, right? Let's just say, how much would you pay? And you're different, but like how much would the average person pay for just mindset and self-development and like a leadership program without a brand? $99, $1,000. You're never gonna be able to charge 25 grand until the brand comes through. Right. Because what sells at a high ticket for basic stuff, Tony Robbins, is brand. Andy Elliott, brand. It's the same shit that you're teaching, except Andy Elliott's Andy Elliott. Yeah. It's all it is brand. Right. And so you can't increase it until you have the brand. Right. But when you start here,
which is what he told me to focus on. He said, and then the money will fall in. But
100%, 100%, bro. And the cool thing is where I'll start with most people, where Andy starts is like with you, but you're already ready to be, like you already are the person that's ready. Most people aren't ready to be it or haven't done anything yet. But you have all the results, you have everything ready. The only thing you don't have is the community. Yeah. And so as you're doing all this, you have to think of everything like a giant funnel. So let's do this. It's kind of like marketing, right? So you have your organic content, except Organic content is gonna take you 5 years, bro. You're gonna have people that are gonna come in and they're gonna follow you, but that doesn't really go anywhere. We're not giving them direction. You have to think, all right, when I target somebody, because people are gonna come in from wherever, this is really broad, the organic content. But if I have something like a Facebook group, a school community, or anything that's going to bring in people, it doesn't even need to actually be a physical group thing. It can be in person, connections. If you put out something, a post, and you're like, hey, I'm doing a meetup for the home service industry, for anyone that does flooring in Arizona, how many connections do you have? How many people would show up? Same thing with like brotherhood. It's not necessarily, it's just that community. Because when you put out that call to action, that's what's gonna help you crush. But long story short, you have all this stuff, right? You have that, then you have a group. It gets more specific. It's the same thing that happens. A group, then you have an ad, then you have, a sales team, and it just goes further and further. But right now, you're in this first phase, even without that target. Once you build the group, the brand is already starting to push. Do you have a podcast with Andy? Have you done a podcast? Are you guys gonna do one?
I'm sure, yeah. Figure out what
Yeah, figure out that. But when you guys launch it, you wanna push people to a certain space. Right. So that way when you have, because right now, you don't have any leads or anything to sell. And the last thing you want to be doing is just shotgunning out, hoping that something's going to stick. You want to know that you have 100 people, 300 people that all know, love, and like and die, flooring and the home service business, that want to learn from you because of the specifics that you're going to teach them that maybe Andy or another guy wouldn't. And a byproduct inside of that, once they get in, the system and the techniques and all that shit it's pretty simple. It just takes time to build, and then you get in and you're gonna teach them all the stuff that you're talking about, which is, it's the mindset.
What I like
to
talk about, right?
100%. I mean, you're gonna give them the system. No,
right.
Bro, they know that.
Right.
They can go anywhere else for that, right? But anything on how to get prices down from your supplier, how to get, all the technical stuff you can talk about. But once they understand that, they're gonna run into another problem 3 months down the line. And most of it is just getting them to be the people they need to be to run the actual business. But where I'm going with this is you go from a group, then you can start to run an ad, and then you'll start to, to be able to sell it and charge more. But until you have the audience that is ready to buy, you're almost better off, in my opinion, not selling anything right out of the gate.
Right.
For, I don't know, the next couple months, just going all in on this, because the next couple months after that will change your whole life. Because if you start selling people shit, they won't follow you, they won't convert, because your intention was to just sell them. Instead of giving them free value and or even like running an ad and seeing like what's the market fit. I mean, is there people that are looking for this? Where are these people? Maybe they're not even on Instagram, bro. They might be on LinkedIn or Facebook.
I think probably a lot of Facebook people.
They're on Facebook for sure. That's what I was gonna tell you.
Yeah, they're posting they're small, but it's like one guy in a truck. Like that's most of what that business is. It's their own business. It's one guy. You've got a couple of helpers, and they go.
Bro, there's your hook.
But it's $1 billion. Flooring is $1 billion business. Like it's big.
Dude, what you just told me is exactly what the hook is with what you're gonna grab people. That is your ideal client. Hey, are you one guy in a truck that's running a flooring company, running a home service company, trying to figure it out, trying to build a team and delegate and actually grow this into a company that you can exit in 3 to 5 years or build it to this amount of valuation? My name is Jason Watson. This is the company I built. This is ABC Flooring, boom, boom, boom. What's the name of your company?
Watson's Installation.
It's just Watson Installation.
Which I'm probably going to create a Watson group, so it's just kind of all under that.
It's perfect. But that's your hook for your ad and for your group. You target those people that want to get out the van, bro. Our ideal audience is the frustrated entrepreneur. It could be at any level. Frustrated entrepreneur or intrapreneur. The person that's pissed off, that knows they have more potential, but has no idea where to go and is almost kind of like burnt out. Where do I go? And then your goal is to catch their attention and realize that they're stuck in this hamster wheel. That they're 3 pieces away from having, a $5 million company or a $10 million company in a year or two. which is probably isn't far from the truth if they just
Right.
if they scale it the right
Right,
way,
right.
or very easily in the next 12 months a 7-figure company if it's not already. You start there and you start giving free value, and then you'll start to be able to sell stuff. And you'd almost be better off going like more higher ticket than trying to sell a $99 product or $299. Because if I came to you, right, a guy that like you, kind of like your ideal audience. Now, every person's gonna have a different amount of money. But if I went to you and I was like, hey, I got this $500 course, dude, you're not even interested, bro. $1,000 course. I mean, you need something that like they know, because what do they have to correlate with value if you don't have a brand? Just price.
Right.
Price and the value that you've given out. And so for me, I'd go a little bit higher ticket. Maybe not like, 10 grand yet, but at least 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, $7,500. I mean, somewhere in that range. Over 1,000, but maybe not over 10.
And what is that? What time frame is that? Like is that?
When to launch it?
No. Like how long? Like let's say $7,500.
Yeah.
What is that for? How many months? So
Depends on what deliverable you want to do. So
you're just saying how.
once you figure out your ideal audience, which is that guy in the one van trying to build his flooring company, the piece of the pie is so much bigger than you really think, bro. What was your question again? Oh, you said the time frame.
Yeah.
So
That's a coaching course, I'm assuming, right? You're talking about.
well, so this is what they talked about yesterday, and this is like super simple. You can create a course.
Yep.
You can create a mastermind,
Yep.
which is like an event, in-person events.
Coaching.
You can create one-on-one coaching or one-to-many. And this can either be, small group, or it can be bigger, right? The bigger you go, the less that, you can charge technically. The most you'll get is one-on-one. I recommend one-to-many, and that can be in person or on Zoom. When you run on a lot of your stuff, where a lot of people get more value is mastermind, event. Course is just something that comes with it. But your offer is the combination of all these. Is it do you want to sell it as a low ticket recurring membership for, $197 a month? Do you want to sell it as a $5,000 one time for the year, all access, lifetime? I would sell them lifetime, because what are we after, in my opinion?
Lifetime community.
Lifetime community, bro.
Yeah, that's
Lifetime.
what I want.
The people that
People
got,
never want to leave.
bro, 100%. The people that initially did business like with me, that like got in or got ultimate value, I wish I could have just kept them access or would have sold them like a little bit more up front, so they never had to like leave. Because my favorite thing is when they don't, honestly in my opinion, when they don't have a recurring, unless it's B2B, like a business, when they don't have this, because then they forget about this and we get to focus full attention on value. They don't think about money, value, money, value, money, value. Business to business is a different game. They need to pay every month for what we have.
Right.
But for a person, for an individual, it's a little bit different. I'm after building these fans, because where your real money will truly come is from the word of mouth and from you getting referrals. Dude, my best business, half of my income every month is just all for referrals. That's where your goal is. You need to sell your first 10 people and not take this strategy of, we're gonna follow more people and run another ad. That's what everybody does. You sell 10 people, 5K program, there's your 25K, whatever, cool. And then all these people, who the fuck do they know? You think each of them know 3 more people in the flooring company? Or home services that would probably work? Even if you convert a portion of those people, let's just say it's a third of them or even less. Let's just say it's 5 of them. Well, then they also know friends. And then you start to realize it's a big world, but it's also smaller, and you'll be able to attack that niche a lot faster than you're thinking about. But it comes to be, in my opinion, what I would do is I would build a base level simple course on how to scale a home service company specifically for flooring, create a brand around that, a Facebook group that they can jump into. School is cool, but I think all your people are on Facebook. And I think once you get active in these groups and start posting some of the content, getting interactive, people will then join your group. They'll see your content, your brand, your alignment with Andy, and you'll be able to not only keep serving these people, but then go from flooring to then home services, which dude, you could retire if you can just dominate this service, to then even further. You could have different people running home services divisions for different industries and different things that I can run to. But even just this, I mean, you could get to making a couple $100,000 a month with just flooring, a couple $1 million a month with home services. I mean, that's the immediate goal for the next, couple years.
That business is not going away.
No, if anything, it's one of the, dude, it's honestly.
I don't really know anybody that's like.
But so watch this. Here's my opinion. You're gonna do all this. You have flooring. You mentioned acquisitions. Bro, what happens when you take a flooring company from 1 million to 10 million? Hey bro, I got this company. My plan is to exit in 5 years. I don't know what the goal is, whatever the dream is.
It's actually 6 years.
6 years, bro. 6 years.
Yeah.
Could you acquire a company like this?
Yeah.
You think that you don't think that they would make more? They don't even know what they're doing. You got them from here to there.
They don't.
Now you're selling the big dream.
Right.
Boom, they get a cool little hit. They're happy. Now you get to not just consult them or coach them for a couple $100 or $1,000, because that's not what happens. That's not how this works from 10 plus, or you'll get people that will get results, but that's where you're gonna make your money, because what happens? What's the multiplier on it? I mean, bro. And you take these companies under Watson installations. That's where your play is at. You're gonna make money from coaching, but I think you're thinking about the coaching game and like an aspect of like, there's coaching and there's my business.
Right. Yeah.
And so the big thing you're looking for is actually scaling this through this. So it's just coming an influence within your own community that you have now, instead of restarting. My thoughts.
Yeah, you got my wheels spinning.
See,
Which is good.
Andy's very simple, but he has a team for a reason that does this shit.
Yeah.
And then guess what, bro? I mean, see, that's where I am trying to take us, is getting in and helping companies. And if you look at guys like Grant Cardone, you look at guys, any of these roofing companies, they're all just trying to acquire more companies to go for this big grand slam. And I mean, Victor Rancourt, any of these guys, they just buy up these companies, and they do it through their influence, because you can recruit better now.
Yeah.
Your value that you get, how much easier it is to say yes, because now you have what? You have brand. And now you're not talking in terms of a couple $100 or a couple more $1,000, you're talking in terms of like millions, because you have influence on that. And then, I mean, you're a few companies away, 5, I mean, maybe 10. 10 would be, I mean, a dream, but companies bringing them in. And then the money that, I mean, I know you make money, but then it's just like game over.
And so fitness really is not even a part of this, other than once you get into the.
Dude, fitness is just like, hey, listen, bro, if you're gonna want to be in elite shape, yeah, take this trainer, do this, like, you're gonna have to run lean. The mindset that I'm gonna give you, I can't just give it to you like, at the end of the day, as much as everybody tells, imagine if we told all the people, they all had to get in shape and be elite and get 6-packs, like, bro, we wouldn't hit anybody.
Right.
We tell them, we're after the market, we're shifting from like, not necessarily from being like the elite and the 1% to just being better. Because we scare the people away that just want to be better, but maybe not the best just yet.
Right.
Because they haven't been better first.
Yeah.
We got to get them better first before we can make them the best.
Trying to go from here to.
Yeah, it scares the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
And so with these people, especially home services, you're better off getting them better first than telling them they need a 6-pack or anything. And then people will just buy. But in my opinion, there isn't the opportunity in fitness that you have financially or impact-wise on fitness. I mean, in my opinion, I just don't think you can charge enough for fitness training. Fitness coaches that teach other people how to run their fitness coaching business make more than the fitness
Like Brian.
coaches. Brian crushes.
Yeah. And see, I bought his course like
Brian's a
3
G,
weeks
bro.
ago.
Brian's a G.
15 grand. We're going through it now.
Yep.
And that's what it was like. What's your advertising, man? I'm like, I don't know. Like, the more I get into it, the more it's like, man, I don't just want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, if you ever listen to Tommy Mello talk, he doesn't, I mean, he talks about garage doors, but he doesn't really talk about garage doors. He talks about scaling business. Garage doors is a vehicle. You're giving way too much credit to the floors.
Yeah, and there's a big audience. I mean, there's a big target for that. I just never really thought about it, but I mean, that's how I grew up. So now it's relatable.
Yeah.
Now, hey, I've been where you're at.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at. We have the systems in place, the tools, and then they're buying those things. Like,
yeah.
I mean, to help you run your business, because most of them don't really know how to run a business.
100%. I mean, imagine a guy that's competed on stage or that's, you know, Mr. Olympia or speaking on stages and all this stuff. He has way more leverage over you in that fitness game, where you have so much leverage in another area that you're just blind to.
Yeah.
Or maybe that you have confused your passion for what you want, when the reality is you're thinking about the floors instead of the people. When you think about the people.
Right. Because I don't want to help a lot of people go from where they are to where
Yeah.
they want to be. And I can do that through my path, which was form.
You want to help the person that used to be.
Right. Exactly.
You were the guy in the van.
Yeah. And then I can talk about in the community how I use fitness and how that's important to me.
That's how you will create your community and brand even more.
Right.
And turn it into something to where now it's the guy in the one van that wants to also, dude, you're gonna be running, it's gonna be a self-development company with a compensation plan attached. We're gonna be talking about flooring, but flooring is just so happen to be what we do. It's the same thing with all these solar guys. Why do they invest in self-development and show up to all these seminars? Solar is just a vehicle.
Right.
They're like, I don't even know solar's gonna be around. Like, I only have a few years. But like, they've learned to immerse because now they have the money to invest themselves and learn all these things.
Yeah. But
the flooring is just a vehicle. These roofers, these guys, you're a business owner, bro. Roofers are not like, oh, I live and die roofing. You know, it's like they're after the check, or they're after it's just where they kind of ended up. You know what I mean?
That's right. Same with flooring. They all just kind of end up there. They didn't pick it. I picked it.
Yeah.
Because I saw it. At 18, I saw what I was going to do with it. Most people, they just follow in what their dad did or uncle did when they had zero education.
They have no idea. It's such an dude. It's like none of these flooring companies are all. There's no major. I mean, there is some major, but like there really isn't that many major big flooring companies. When compared to how many are small.
Oh, I mean, when you look at that, like, which I have, I mean, I can get all that data quickly. Like the small, actually, it's probably an average. Honestly, I think last time I looked, it was like $1 million, maybe $1.2 million. Was like the average mom and pop that had a retail store, right? So it's not like there's people doing. There are people doing big business, but it's a small percentage. You know what I mean?
Yep. Dude, you could literally.
I guess what comes to mind with that is and I guess maybe I'm looking at this wrong, because again, if I want to help people, this shouldn't matter because they need the most help. Is the people in construction, like, that are doing, like, you know, they're putting the floor in, they're just like, their mindset is like so not there. But that's what I need to help them. That's why they'll be a great candidate. But they're just kind of like, the people are different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Well, you
like,
change them. Your goal is like, listen.
Like, I don't look like a flooring installer. I used to, you know, but.
You're not doing like you're not going to be doing like mission work, right? You will be changing lives, but you do it through the leader.
Right.
I love like 16-year-old, 18-year-old kids, but I know I can't like put my focus to there. I have to go to the leaders that run those dealerships or run those businesses and change them to change these kids. Or the kids that are really wanting to crush it, then like I'm all in. But I limit myself and my value if I focus on people that aren't going to, you know, get me where I want to go. Because I can't give them more. They can get value on free YouTube in the group and all these other resources. To a certain degree, people have to help themselves. You don't want to go to the person that isn't raising their hand for help. You want to find the people that are raising their hand for help, and then once they raise their hand, their environments will change, and they'll change the people that are putting in the floors and doing all this other stuff. And then the fitness and the mindset and the coaching. Dude, every person that gets in Andy's Brotherhood, he just says like, bro, you're gonna get jacked, you're gonna be better. Because they look up to you. Yeah. It's just kind of like a subconscious thing.
But you can still sell a course under that once they get in, or you You're saying you wouldn't even do that?
You can. You can. I'm just one of those guys where I just don't really think there's that much money in fitness. It's more of a giant to attack when you're sitting on gold. You know, that's like if I was like, hey, you know, maybe I'll go and do like solar because I can make more money outside of like, right? If I paint a situation, I'm like, what if I went and did solar, right? And you're like, bro, why wouldn't you just, what if you did your own, like, you know, coaching? This is what you've done. Wow, there's a lot of money, and I mean, solar could be big. I start my own solar company. You're like, dude, I don't know where your head's at. Like, you have all this, you have 5-6 knowledge of all this stuff that you've learned from Andy, like in the network and all this stuff. You could easily,
Why would you veer off and go do
like,
something
you want to stick to what you do. And solar is an example where there is money, but I'm just trying to get your head.
Yeah, this is helpful. This has got me thinking.
Yeah, it's just something.
I'm talking back to my it's like I wrote down earlier, like you're teaching yourself what would you do 20 years ago. This is how you did it. This is how you can get there faster. This is what I've learned, and then target that out of your client and see and build that community, and then it starts to just kind of build. And then I'm teaching leadership and all that. That's part of how I got to where I'm at. It's because the mindset.
Your name will grow so fast. There's so many of these home services events that need a guy that can represent for this niche, for this industry, to where you can get right on stage with a phone call. This other game, I mean, you have Andy to help you, but like, you're already qualified for this. I mean, bro, dude, I spoke at and so I know I'm different, but like, just think about this, bro. I spoke at one of the largest, if not the largest, home services conference of the entire fucking year. Bro, I'm a 25-year-old kid, has nothing to fucking do with this. And I look at the lineup and I'm like, dude, they need, like, they had another guy that was on, like, you know, mindset, which is good. But the guys that are like, you know, I'm right after Tommy, and it's like they need guys for all these other industries. You know, they're learning from guys that do HVAC, these flooring guys. Or, dude, there's not even anybody in electric. There's not anybody really in plumbing. I mean, plumbing is a little bit bigger, but electric, who do you got? Who's mentoring? Plumbers? Who's mentoring the plumbing space? There's maybe one or two on a small basis.
I don't know. Only one I know is like Tommy. I don't like at a big level that I see on social or anything.
Bro, Tommy's the smallest niche of them all. Tommy does garage doors. He's not even plumbing. He's not even HVAC. He's not even flooring, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, every house needs a floor. Bro, 90% of people never replace their fucking garage door.
Right.
He did that and now has the entire home services space based off of something that's a fraction of what you have. Dude, it's just a mindset shift. I mean, think about it. And then you create an offer that's more valuable, more easy, more able for people to buy. You create that community, you'll be way more fulfilled, and you'll find that people will gravitate towards you, and you'll make people better because of how you look and how you carry yourself. Because they're paying for it, and then you'll tell them, and it'll be.
They don't have that. I mean, construction. You see them like they all look pretty terrible.
I know.
This is the way they carry themselves. Like
I know.
That's what I think of when I think of that industry, right?
But they're not raising.
I'm thinking wrong, but like I'm like, oh man, I wanted to get away from those people, right?
It's not those people. It's the business owners. It's the leaders. It's their job to make those other people great. And it's your job to make that person great so they can make other people great. You're thinking about like the workers and the construction and like, you know, but they don't have somebody that they can look up to. Do you, like, inside of your company, are people getting better? People are growing?
Yeah.
It's because of you.
Yeah.
That would be the way if I was you. All this to funnel through from the end in mind to here, to how much you can charge out of the gate, to where you can jump into with home services. And then health and mindset and fitness is all in there. And then, in my opinion, once your brand is big enough and you represent and people ask you, hey, like, dude, how are you getting in shape? What's going on? Start a fitness division. You just build a program and hire a sales team, run ads on it. Because if you don't like talking about fitness, really, but you know it's essential.
Yeah,
It's more
like the mechanics that like
it's more mindset and leadership, which is what this needs.
Yeah.
The system is easy, but people are gonna buy the fact that you know how to do flooring because they feel like they need a system, and you're gonna give them the system, and then you're gonna give them the mindset and the attitude and all these and the energy and everything to execute on the system that you give them to scale.
Yeah, no, so I can do some research pretty quick and get those numbers. Like this is, you can probably Google it real quick. What that audience would be.
So watch. I'm gonna look up flooring groups on Facebook. Bro, flooring contractors, 23,000 members. Arizona flooring installers, 400 members. Flooring installation team. Concrete finish. Let's see. Flooring World, 23,000 members. Oh, look at this. Flooring Installation Alliance. Tips, tricks, and community. I mean, dude, 7,000 people. Our Facebook group only has 12,000. And I would just join these and make yourself an authority figure in all these groups. That's how we start. Andy
Just start joining all of them and get on there.
Yeah. 100%.
See what they're doing.
100%. Post yourself with Andy on flooring and everything.
Yeah.
That'd be the gist of it. And then basically the offer is pretty simple. You just figure out, I would make a simple course. You can sell it for $500. And then around that, as you scale, then you're gonna go to from one-on-one to one-to-many, which is a small group Zoom. It's, $5,000 for the year, $10,000 for the year, and you coach them, and then you can turn that into an event. And see how it's another funnel. People that try to skip this, they never fucking make it, bro. I see everyone that's like, what's the most I can charge? High ticket program. And it's like, unless you want to hire a fucking sales team outside, have no control, have no real business, like a real coaching business, and you're just going to be making money off of coaching with no real stability and like vision, right. It just doesn't work like that. But within 6 months to a year, I mean, bro, you could be a fucking, like an icon in this space because...
They can do that fast?
I think so. I think so. Dude, I can make a few phone calls to get you on some of these stages. These guys are dying for people. I swear to God, man. People think that like, this space is, these business owners are not like influencers. They run their business. They're not on social. And so when they find people that's willing to get in front of a camera that has what? That has brand, and that has community and has all these things. It's everything. It's actually outside of, people don't even know really what skill I possess until they let me in. And so what they buy is brand. They buy Elliott, they buy DK, whatever. They buy the shit that I've been posting for the last 5 years. That's what they buy. That's why they asked me to come out. They see a fraction of like this skill or mindset, but they don't really know until they get on the inside.
Yeah. And eventually, I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to be as crazy as it sounds like, because I hated cameras. It's like, I want to be on stage. I want to be up there with him one day.
Andy was a car sales trainer. If you want to do exactly what Andy's doing, he was an automotive sales trainer. Now he's getting to a Tony Robbins level. But like,
wow.
Man, we haven't made a new car sales training program in 2 years. Yeah. But now he's known. Now guess what? We still get paid more than we did 2 years ago off of it because the content's good. Yeah. Nothing really changes. Yeah. It'll be good for years. Yeah. And we do a Zoom call once a month. But it's the same thing. You'll keep this, then you'll go to home services, and then home services and flooring just happen to be just the business that you ran. And throughout all this process, you'll have...
It's the same concept.
You can add different verticals within your flooring company. I mean, you could have a roofing company that you acquire, and now you partner with this guy, but it'll allow you to bring all these people for these acquisitions 10 times faster when you have the brand and have the status.
I see that, yeah. I don't see that in this business.
Bro, it is so difficult to do it unless you're mentoring people on a local community level.
It's all my workout videos. I need.
This is just what I see with you, and I'm usually pretty good with it, but it makes total sense. Like, you can see how this would run easily, versus the other places, fitness. I mean, you're still at like level 1 or level 2, thinking like, how is this gonna, like, do I really want to do this? Yeah. Which is like not even half a step to where it's like you got 5-6 steps already in the right space.
Yeah, because I'm already, I got a handful of clients now, but like I'm already getting, like I told Al at the one-on-ones, and they pay me a decent amount of money, but like I just like when they don't do the way that I am.
Yeah.
I tell you, and then you don't do it, and then you're complaining about it. Like I'm like, well, this didn't feel good. Like, you know what I mean? And then they expect they're gonna look like X in 60 weeks, and it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
100%. Well, you want
It's
to.
hard to people to buy it. They don't see the value in it, which is hard. It seems like, right, with the fitness piece, it's like they don't want to pay for it.
You just want to run. If I was you, I wouldn't even do one-on-one. I would just do one-to-many.
Yeah. That's what I was even thinking about with the little bit of fitness stuff I'm doing. I was like, I don't even like doing these one-on-ones. I can make more money just doing one call with 10 people.
Yeah, but you want to think about it like, what can you teach in your sleep, and what would you do without money?
Say again.
What would you do without money? You would help the guy that was starting in the van, the struggling entrepreneur that wants to be a leader.
Yeah.
That's what you would do for free.
Yeah.
Then you monetize it. I gotta just be better. But until it's like this thing, you don't understand the layers until you're inside of the layer. And so you're trying to go 3 layers deep, being like, you gotta get in shape, but they're on layer 1, and they just need to make more money, and they could give 2 shits. But then they'll realize that's how he has the energy and the mindset he has to push through all these fucking problems. It's because the mindset is just this.
100%.
This is how we crush. Dude, in my opinion, you can run a Facebook group, crush it, get in all these Facebook groups, funnel a community to your group for flooring, something that's like, badass, looks sexy. You offer some free coaching, going lives, all this stuff, and then from there, dude, honestly, in my opinion, 3 to 4 months, I'd put together a fucking ad that's baller as fuck. If you got money, I'd throw like $3,000 a month at it, and then, you may even need to have somebody help you with the calls. Maybe $1,000 a month start, because you'll be taking leads. See how well it converts. Yeah. We can help you make the ad, whatever you need, the landing pages, the upsell, downsell, or hey, just join the free community. Maybe it's an ad just to join the community. There's things that you can do, and if you're obviously not afraid to spend money, and the truth is, you may not even need to invest as much money as you're thinking to make it successful. Yeah. If I'm like, hey, run an ad for $2,000 a month, you'll get 100 leads. If you sell 10 of those buy a 5K program, and now you're already in, a $300,000 a year coaching business month 1 or month 2. Yeah. And then you need to now hire salespeople. Now you
I'll
see.
be ready to hire sales as soon as I understand.
Yeah.
Like to build something
Yep.
big, what I want. Like I want to understand the process.
Yep.
And then hire his team. Like I don't care about the profit. I want
Yep.
to invest everything back in.
Yep.
Whether it be ads or people.
Yep.
I don't even care about the money right now.
Yep.
I got money to do what I need to do. I'll make mine later. Right. But doing that, that's what I want to have. I basically want to do what Andy's doing. I want to have a massive sales team selling my stuff.
Start the way he started then. He started with what he knew. But your mindset of like, do I love flooring? The answer is no. Andy hated cars. Andy went through fucking court and almost went to jail. Almost went to fucking jail because of that industry. You think he really wants to fucking talk about cars? It's the last thing he wants to do. He's trying to like kind of like run from it. And it's like, you're like, I kind of want to fucking move on to something different. Well, like, you did your point. You did your part in this industry. Now it's time to do your part giving back. Yeah. Before you get grace to pivot to go bigger.
Yeah, and I know this one I'm gonna get ready to say is a mindset thing, but like I know Tommy, like he's big, right? He's 200. I don't know what he is, over 200 million or more. I don't know.
200 or 300 million.
Like, do you think you need to be a certain size? Because like our 2 companies together, those 2 flooring companies, will do 22 this year. So we're not doing 100. So I always have that in the back of my mind. It's like, well, am I doing
such a fucking leash
enough? But the bulk of the businesses are like $1 to $2 million. Small businesses, right? So that's just the wrong thinking, right? It's like, but that's why I feel.
Here, I'll give you a perspective. So before I left selling cars, I think when I left, I only did about 1.5 years, and I found Andy like a few months in, and so I trained with him for 9 months. I made like 120 grand. It was like my best year selling cars. It's really not that good. And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm telling guys that they can go and they can do better and they can make more, and I'm coaching other people because I'm with Andy.
You're making that, yeah.
But I was making that. But I'm like, well, how much am I worth if I can get, let's say, 10 other people to then go make their first 100 grand? Because there's a lot of people that are not making 100 grand, and there's always going to be the small fraction, right? the 10%, or even probably less, that's making 10%, that's making less, or I mean making more than 100K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so by me helping all these people go from 40 or from 60 to double or triple their fucking income, what am I worth? Am I worth more than 100 grand if I can take 1,000 people and I can make them their first 6 figures? How much should I get paid 100 grand for that? Or should I get paid a fucking million?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just numbers. You want the numbers here on the money or numbers on the people on the impact? It's the same thing.
You had the same mental conversation.
100%, bro. With where you're at, you're thinking like the amount of people, how many people have more than a $30 million home services company? 5-10%?
Yeah, not many.
Okay, so what about these people, bro?
Yeah, that's the target.
It's your target. It's a 0 to.
I've already done what they're doing.
I mean, not maybe 1 mil, but like, dude, like maybe 0 to 10 mil.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bro, that's your ideal audience.
That's the bulk of the
That's the
business.
majority.
Yeah, it really is. And probably all those businesses, no matter what the services is, right?
Yep. It was the same conversation because I'm like, fuck, am I worth?
So we help
Am I
companies
worth
from
it?
$1 million to go to $10 million in 6 months, guaranteed.
Because I'm like, dude, am I worth it? Like, you know,
And the thing is, like, I know.
is it? I'm like, is it the number? You know, is it the 100?
Yeah. But I know I'm a lot better than 22. Like because I know that the people that like a buddy, like a friend of mine, same business. He's got an account with just a bigger retailer. He'll probably do 150 million in foreign.
Yeah.
This year, like he's absolutely crushing it. But he couldn't tell you anything about what they do.
Oh, 100%.
He's just he's
A lot of people are really good at the actual doing, but they're horrible at teaching.
right. Yeah. And what I've realized, like I mean, when I have kids, like I love teaching. I hated school. I barely graduated high school, and I study like every day. Like I can't stop doing it. Like it's probably like it makes my brain hurt because I'm listening to this. I'm waking up. I'm going to the bathroom listening to it. Like I don't watch TV. You know, Allie thinks I'm crazy. I am, but like I'm just so immersed in it because I've realized like how much value. That's what I tell people today. Like if you just self-develop, it will change your life because you just don't even know what you don't know. You can't see what you don't see. Like you just
100%.
You just don't know. But every time you self-develop, you're like, man, I can learn something different.
Yep.
And then you do it again, and that's how you get
That's
better and better.
that's what you're gonna speak about on stage.
And that's what I love talking about. I can talk about it all day because I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've lived it and I'm doing it. That's what I'm passionate about. But if you start asking about carbs and why it ain't working, like I start to get annoyed. So I'm like, dude, you ain't doing what I'm telling you to do in the first place. This is why it's not working.
Yeah.
You know.
You being overly analytical will be the downfall of you reaching a higher level of success.
Okay. Say that again. Or explain.
You being too analytical
Can
about.
you tell I'm analytical?
Yeah, I'm just like you, bro. I'm a perfectionist as fuck, but I've learned to take that skill and then also have you have a very strong intuition. Just like you moved out here.
Yeah.
Why can't you figure out your niche fast?
Yeah.
Like you could have already been ready to go here. And also too, that's like us, you know, helping you.
Yeah.
But a piece of that is like.
It's been one of the hardest things I've been struggling with. Like it's driving me freaking crazy.
Speed. It's a gut feeling. That's probably let's say you're like, dude, that's pretty good. What's your gut feeling say? You're like, is that solid? Fucking jump on it. And then once you get to phase 2, you can be like, I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna do something different, whatever. But you don't even understand this yet, or this, or this, or this. Once you learn all of this, you can do whatever you want because you've understood it. Not saying like we haven't taught it, but you actually have lived it, gotten the feedback, gotten the ROAS on the ad, seen what the sales team closes, run the whole thing, gotten feedback from the people who are in the program to see if it sucks or not, and so on. I look at a guy like Danny Klein, right? I mean, he's not necessarily the largest in the industry, but he's the most public and he has a solid deal. But when he runs, I think they're at like almost $500,000 this month in fucking coaching with the event. I mean, because he built up, number one, he had the brand, but he had all this. He had the community, he had the group. You know, I don't know if he was doing ads or anything yet, but once he aligned with Andy, all these things will help you like pop off by you leveraging what we have for you and for your brand. But your content
It's all gotta shift.
your content shows that it's broad. The only reason that like your content is good to me because I know you guys.
Right.
But if I'm random, I mean, like, you guys look, I might stop because I'm like, this guy's fucking peeled. But like, I don't really give a fuck about random people. Because there's other shit that's catching my attention.
Right.
Some dude's like, you know, talking about specific stuff. So your content needs to be almost like you're making a course. You need to talk about all this stuff that you want to be good at. That's your route.
So you wouldn't do anything in the gym, like nothing to do with like.
It's just
if you're talking leadership or whatever.
Just who you are. I would talk about it.
But it's talking about stuff like this, but I could be in the gym as opposed to
of
in
course.
the gym and Josiah's like, well, what's your favorite exercise? And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I hate this. I don't like that.
If you can't, no, like that tells me it's already, like it's just stupid.
I didn't, like I did it the other day and I told Alex.
Because you need to be able to say, these guys, these people.
No, I know, yeah. No,
your belief on like, I think when you fucking have your pinkies out, that's what gets the fucking Lazarus here, and you're gonna exhaust yourself with a superset. If you don't, people enjoy that shit. They're like, it targets the fucking obliques here when you're eating corn and all this stupid shit. It's like, if you can't fucking do that and like that's not you.
No, I like it because I like to look good and feel good. I'm not.
But the content that you can make for this industry, you have your own little example of being like, when you fucking curl pinky, when you're having your fucking company and you have 5 people and the one is, you know, one sales guy is scaling, another not. Here's the one thing I've done to help my entire team grow. You can teach on those specifics. And then you and Allie are in the picture and you show your life.
They see we're in shape and they want to be around you because they're like, oh, like what you're saying, and they're fit.
Or it's just part of leadership, which is part of what you're teaching.
Yeah,
You're paying for proximity. So it's like, if you were to go and do this without us, I mean, bro, it would take you fucking 3-4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, we can do this in 6 to 9 months.
This is where I struggle, like, when it comes to the course, like creating a course, like I'm thinking, well, how do I even do that? Like, how do I create a course and get it out there and, like, do all that?
Dude, it's simple.
Teach them how to go from 1 to 10?
Well, no, you start with, like, the first thing, right? Start off with what you believe.
But where
Mindset.
do you build a course on there? Like,
Where?
Yeah, what is that?
You can build it on fucking anything, bro. You're thinking about the Facebook group instead of the community.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter. It can be in our system in Lightspeed, you know, or it can be in, it can be on a fucking app. It can be in Kajabi. It can be on Go High Level. I mean, that's the easy part. That's a 5-10 minute Google search. How much do you want to pay? How technical do you want it to be? You know, how simple. And then you run that.
Especially when Andy told me, he's like, I think you should teach people business. It threw me for a loop because all we're talking about is fitness.
Andy's the same as you, bro. Dude, he don't fucking want to talk about fitness. I mean, he talks about it. It's the same way that you want to do it, but he doesn't teach fitness.
Yeah, and we like talking about fitness and we like talking about food, but we don't want to teach stuff.
I like fucking, you know, cigars, and I like fucking weightlifting and all this other shit, but I'm not gonna, I like shoes, but it's just, I fucking wear them. I don't fucking, like.
Right, yeah. No, it's starting to make sense now.
I like social media. I fucking hate teaching social media. Because you know what? What am I gonna tell people? Fucking post, bro. Fucking post, create a good caption, get consistent. But then that's like kind of fucking it, bro. It's like, it really doesn't get that much more complex than being consistent. And creating engaging shit and being specific. I can't really even talk about it for more than fucking 10 minutes. Because then I'm like, oh, when you comment and you respond, it's like, it's so fucking stupid. But that's what people want me to fucking teach. People are like, oh, you should teach social. Same thing with fitness. It's like, that's the same thing. I'm like, social is just what's required.
Right.
I'm like, if you want to grow.